Welcome back to the show, everybody. I hope you all had a great weekend, but we are back. It's Monday, and that means only one thing. We are back with the Monday mashup. Joining me tonight, representing the Blues of London, Ian. How we doing, Ian?
All good, my man.
Check out his channel there, Dynamo's done over on YouTube. Some great episodes over there. And, of course, on the slab for all your horror content. Also joining me, our resident referee, Mark. How are we, Mark?
How's it going, lads? Thanks for having me on again.
And my partner on these shows, as always, the dazzler himself, Mystic Mac. How are we, Darren?
I'm all good, Niall. I'm all
Darren,
good, lads. How are you?
You should be excited tonight, Darren. You're a day away from a Champions League game that you're heading over.
Yeah. And Dazzler actually looks like the referee tonight, doesn't he?
Yes.
American football coach.
Our commitment this channel knows no bounds. We'll be doing a podcast in the morning at 7:15 from Dublin Port. So there you go. What more would you viewers want? Awesome. So head over there, smash that subscribe button. Quick rundown through the weekend's results. Brighton 0, Liverpool 2, Brentford 2, Burnley 0, Man United 3, Tottenham 2.
What score is that?
Man United 3, Tottenham 2.
Just checking.
I just wanted to make sure, yeah.
Just checking.
Then into Sunday, the 2 o'clock, Chelsea with a massive win. Chelsea 1, Newcastle 0, Everton 0, Wolves 1. Leeds 2, Norwich 1. What an end to that game. Southampton 1, Watford 2. West Ham 2, Aston Villa 1. Arsenal 2, Leicester 0. And just to round out my weekend, Crystal Palace 0, Man City 0. So all good. Let's begin. Man United 3, Tottenham 2, lads. Darren.
It was a great result. I couldn't say anything else now, if I'm honest, because performance-wise, it still didn't fucking cut the mustard, really, did it? You know?
I don't know. There was some decent play in there, wasn't there?
There was 3 bits of decent play. We scored 3 goals. It's fucking...
It's 100%.
And you know, I'm watching the game on Saturday evening, and you're looking at this game where we have to give him all the plaudits in a sense. You know, he pops up with this 25-yarder. He's in the right spot for Sancho to square him the ball, and he gets a super header to finish with. But I mean, for the rest of the game, he didn't scratch his nutsack. Literally didn't scratch his nutsack for the rest of the game. And then Gary Neville's like, well, my man of the match. And I'm like, if your man of the match isn't Fred, we have a fucking problem here, Gary. Right? We have a massive problem here, Gary. Yeah? Well, I'm going to give it to Cristiano. Yeah, sure, listen, he only touched the ball 5 times. Why not? Let's give it to him. Fuck's sake. I get he got the goals, lads. That's as much as I'm having as much of a go there at like modern day football as anything. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Not just, you know.
You're right, as I always said, if there had been 3 different goal scorers for United, Fred would have got the man of the match.
Absolutely. You know, the effort he put in, I don't know how many times he got between the midfield and the back four there to cut things up, and he was really good on the bounce and stuff like that. Probably plays some of his best football for United, I would have said the weekend, where he picked a lot of little passes and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, it was just, listen, Ronaldo obviously gets the headlines with the goals and stuff like that. And they're 3 very well taken goals, you know. I suppose the first and the third are the highlights, aren't they? And the second one, you expect him to score. The header's a great header, as the guys spoke about. If that's a centre back, you're like, wow, you know, what a header. But from a striker, it's unbelievable. It really is. But I just think, again, if he doesn't score the weekend, what does he give us? You know, and I'm just playing devil's advocate there, because obviously we're 24 hours out from the Atletico game. And if he starts tomorrow night and the work rate is as poor, and as, you know, if his pressing is as slow and things like that tomorrow night, we're playing with 10 men basically, unless he creates one of those moments again.
But I mean, if he scores 3 goals tomorrow night, you won't be too upset with him, will you?
It's not about being upset with him, and it's hard for him to kind of keep that up, isn't it? I mean, that's what we've had all season. Like, his stats are okay. But I mean, if you look at his stats and then you isolate that with his performances, like, I don't know a United fan who would have him in the team on current performances. Stats aside, that's a completely different. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Because again, what we're looking like at times that we're playing with 10, even 9. Like, when you've got him and Pogba on the pitch, you're really pissing into the wind with 9 men. You know what I mean? Like, Pogba just thinks he has 24 hours on the ball, sauntering around the place. He's so ego driven. It's actually scary. Like, you know, It's
Yeah,
sickening to watch.
but that's been Paul Pogba from day one. I mean, he's always been ego driven. I mean, that's nothing new with him. And the same with Ronaldo. I mean, you brought Ronaldo in. I don't think any Man United fan thought they were bringing Ronaldo in, that he was going to press the game high up the pitch and bring you a load of workload. He was brought in to basically score goals and create those moments and get you through those moments. I think it's a bit. I think I'm being a little bit harsh, Darren. I think you've gone through a week there where you absolutely collapsed against Man City, and you had a whole week off to prepare for this game, and it could have gone either way. Really, it could have gone really bad if those goals hadn't have cropped up. And it was vital that you got that win as well to bring a bit of confidence into this Atletico game, because if you had a lost to Spurs or drawn with Spurs, imagine what the confidence would have been going into the Atletico game. So it's,
and like,
it's really important. Like,
I take that on board. And listen, when we talk about the fourth spot and stuff like that, I still don't think we're in the shake-up for fourth spot, if I'm honest. But I get momentum and I get a winning mentality and stuff like that. But again, as I've spoke about it, like, it's very difficult when you're going into games and you know that you're looking around the dressing room. Like, let's say, I'm Alex Tellez there the weekend. I look around the dressing room. How many blokes do I know are pulling in the same direction as me? All right, well, I know the keeper is and I know Fred is, right? With a couple of boys there. I know Varane is. I know I get to 5, 6, possibly 7 at a push. After that, I'm going, we're far light here. What's he doing here? What's he doing here? What's he doing here? What's this prick doing here? And that's a problem.
I heard a Juventus fan and Real Madrid fan. It was only on Twitter saying United don't deserve Ronaldo because of the way they're kind of expecting more. Now, I'm only playing devil's advocate here, like, because I see what you're saying, Darren. Like, it is all well and good when a hat-trick pops up and it's clutch. But I see what you're saying. What about those moments in between games when you expect him to press? He's meant to be your main guy. So I see kind of the battle that you're having there. Do you know what I mean? Where you're going, yeah, unbelievable hat-trick, but at the same time, like,
I just don't think you can carry him for 90 minutes like that every week, and this is and I've said this previously about Pogba, and I think the exact same about Ronaldo. The two lads should be left for the last 30 minutes of games. They should be impact subs, because I think when they come on with 30 minutes to go, they can have as much of an impact with 30 to go as they can coming in and starting from the first minute, because we know in the early exchanges of a game, that's when things are at their tightest. That's when defenses are switched on. That's when everybody's ready to go. When you're 60, 70 minutes in and fellas are starting to tire, and then maybe they swap out a centre back or a full back, and all of a sudden the dynamic changes. That's when little slices of space start appearing. And I think that's when they'd be best serving the team. And until we get to those moments, we're going to have to grind it out with guys who are willing to carry the water for the first 60, 75 minutes. You know what I mean?
Dazzler, I don't know what you think, but I thought with Bruno being out against Spurs, it was ideal for Pogba to come and grab the game by the scruff of the neck, and he didn't do it. Fred was actually the player who done it and did very well. Played with that freedom,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think obviously Matic, for me, I'm not a fan of Matic at all, but anytime he's been called on recently, he's done a sterling job in there for us. He slows things down. He creates that screen in front of the back four. It's tough, obviously, against a team like Spurs, because you've got Son, you've got Kulusevski, you've got Kane dropping off short, and they're all trying to get into that space just in front of the back four so they can get running at our guys, because they know when they start running at our guys, that's when we're in trouble. But I thought Matic did a pretty good job of that, I have to say. Something I'd love to see, and I know, again, we've spoken about it recently, I'd love to see Scott be able to screen slightly better than he does. I feel like he tries to be too much box to box. And again, if he's playing in the sixth position, play in the sixth position. Don't try and play in the 6 and the 8. Just sit, just screen. We're not looking for you to score. That's not what you're there for. We don't need you to create. If we're playing with four defenders and one defensive midfielder, we're basically playing a 5 back and a 5 up. Don't get involved. Sit and screen. Too often Scott gets dragged into that and we end up 6-4. And when you end up 6-4 and all of a sudden Kane, Kulusevski and Son bounce against the likes of Wan-Bissaka and Maguire, they're in with a shout when they shouldn't be, because we should have the spare man over there. But that's maybe Scott not knowing the role as well as he should, or being as strategic with where he's putting himself. Because with Matic has no interest on getting in the end of everything, so he just sits and blocks the whole thing up.
I think with McTominay as well, he started obviously off in the academy as a striker, and I still think sometimes he forgets that he isn't a striker anymore, that he wants to go and score the goals. That's the way when you're saying he should be screening the back four. So absolutely agree with that.
Right, well, we'll move on from United and we'll see how tomorrow night goes. We'll be giving you a match reaction and a preview, so we'll see. Ian, big result for Chelsea at the weekend, 1-0 win against Newcastle. The man of the moment, Kai Havertz, cropping up with the clutch again. Great finish, great control.
What a goal.
Absolutely clutch, and shown a little bit of shithousery as well. You know, for a man that loves his dogs and his pets, it was very excited to see that. Obviously, big Dan Burn.
Was that a play on his missus or something?
No, he runs a donkey sanctuary. Apparently, he's just mad into his animals. Like he has.
Would he take Harry Maguire?
You what?
Would he take Harry Maguire?
What do you mean? Would he take him?
To the donkey
sanctuary.
You know what, Dazzler? Well fucking played. I was like, I didn't know what you meant. There was like, would we take him? All right, now I get it. I don't think so, to be fair. Yeah, look, just the boy is really stepping up now, isn't he? Looking at his stats, like 11 goals this season, like 5 assists. And the question we were all saying, like, can he do it in the Premier League? He's starting to do it now. That was, I mean, look, ball from Jorginho. It was a shit match. It was a very flat performance from us. A very, very flat crowd. The prawn sandwich eaters there were in full brigade at a time when we needed them to be loud. I am glad that a certain man's name wasn't chanted just purely because of the fucking media. You know, shit on it. Like, I'm an Abramovich. I'll never forget what Abramovich done for us, but I just think in the current media climate, it didn't need to be done. So I'm kind of glad that there was the prawn sandwich brigade there in some sense. But a very, very flat Stamford Bridge yesterday. Really, really annoyed at that. However, they are the moments, and I know there was some controversy in the game with a penalty not given, possibly, you know, red card with Coy. But I mean, look, Coy got as much elbow from Byrne as he gave too. So it's one of the and it's one of those things. He's not a dirty player, so I think that probably maybe benefited him a little bit. The ref was shit yesterday, I'm not going to lie. However, we've had moments too in the season where it hasn't went their way. So I'm not going to fucking feel sorry for Newcastle on this one, to be honest with you. But if we're just looking at the, you know, that clutch moment, as you mentioned, good Lord, what a touch and what a finish. And what a ball from Jorginho as well. Holy shit. Just, yeah, something we needed badly. Something I needed badly as a Chelsea fan. And, yeah, I'll take those moments all day long.
It was a smashing finish. It was a fucking really, really top finish.
The first control to kill the ball was outstanding, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a super finish. And like, he's even close enough to the keeper that, like, if he hits it straight, he hits the keeper. So he does. He guides it away from the keeper.
Slices it almost with the outside.
It's a really, really well taken goal, I have to say.
Quality. Yeah.
And Dubravka was having a great game as well.
Absolutely,
really playing well as
well.
Yeah, so, very
Newcastle in general were having a great game, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Brighton 0, Liverpool 2. I thought for ourselves. I think at this time of the season, again, Salah and Mane look a little bit jaded. I think it was workmanlike. We spoke about this with City as well this season, how they go out and they're kind of workmanlike and get over the line. And I think it was just a case of getting the 3 points. It could have been a potential banana skin. Brighton are a good team, especially at the Amex, but they looked a little bit flat yesterday.
Well, you should have been playing against 10 men, right, early on.
I mean, I think so. I don't know whether Marcus had a chance to go back and look at that, the goalkeeper, when we did speak about it, but it's just...
Lord.
I watch it all right.
Clothesline with
take his head off. It was his arm, his leg. It was a bit of everything. I don't know how, and he didn't even get a yellow card for it. Like,
no, I think I mentioned on the reaction as well. I think if he doesn't score, it's a penalty and a red card. And the fact that he scored, I thought VAR reviewed it and they just let it slide. Like, so it was just one of those things.
Just from a point of view, from an officiating point of view, like when he scores, can you go and give the red card as well?
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like,
I know where you come from, because there's obviously
you'd be given the red card retrospectively, basically, because there'd be, you'd be allowing play to continue for the goal.
again, it's one of the, it's I've mentioned this loads of times. You're endangering the safety of an opponent. You know, one hit to the side of his head, he could have caught him in the temple. He could have done anything. He's putting himself at risk of getting a red card going out the way he did. You know, there is the law where if a defender makes a tackle and you think he's making a genuine attempt to win the ball, and you give a penalty and a yellow card because a penalty is enough punishment. And you know, if obviously it's a dogso where he's
it's the double jeopardy thing, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So if it's a dogso, obviously it's a straight red. But I just felt for him, all right, you kind of think, I think was a Stuart Atwell was in VAR. You kind of think, right, if he's not sending him off, he's definitely going to caution him. And then he doesn't even caution him. So you're like, what's going through their heads? Like, he's after trying to take Diaz's head off. Like,
again, is there an issue there where, you know, he's checking for a possible sending off? So is the question worded wrongly? Should it be, you know, sending off or caution? Because if he just says you're not sending him off, then maybe the referee goes, well, I don't book him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, like they're kind of crossing each other out. But no, he should have, like, because I do always say if that's up, I know he's a goalkeeper, but if that's a midfield and a player comes up that high with his arm and leg, you can tell he's going to be cautioned, or at least, you know, if not sent off.
I text you, Niall, at the time, didn't I?
You told me,
I said that literally 2 inches higher, and that's in the jaw, and then you're possibly looking at a knockout on the pitch. And
well, it's the fact that the replay showed that the keeper never even looked at the ball. He only had eyes for the player and took the player out as well. And I just thought look, in the end, the player was fine. The goal stood and we ran out 2-0 winners. But I mean, if that had been a draw yesterday or something like that, I mean, there would have been holy war about it.
Or worse than the draw, what even if he has won the game, but the kid was on his fucking back and out for 3 or 4 weeks, but he can push it. That's worse than the fucking thing, you know?
Exactly.
You can even see in the keeper's face, he's actually relieved when, you know, it goes to the tip off for the goal. He looks so relieved because he probably thought in his head, we're getting sent off it.
I'm out here,
yeah.
I think the goalkeeper knew it himself. The goalkeeper looked as if he knew he was going to get his marching orders. You could see it in him. Let's go into some of the hot topics then, guys. I suppose the first one we have to talk about is PSG bottling the Champions League again. I mean, it's just you know, we have to give our props to Real Madrid there without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, Benzema is just unbelievable. But for those guys to shit the bed like that was just horrific.
The madness that ensued as well.
No, there was nothing. It wasn't horrific. It was fucking poetic justice. Mercenary little fucks. Good luck to you. Delighted you are out.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen it then. I think it was either yesterday or Saturday they were playing as well. And every single PSG player, every time they passed the ball, they were booed. All the substitutions were booed. I think he took off. Did he take off Messi at one stage? He got booed. Draxler came on. He was booed. And they just booed every player out of the stadium at the weekend against Bordeaux. It was just unbelievable. And then Poch came out questioning it, going mad at this, that the fans were booing the players. Like, it was just, God, you know, crazy stuff. But I suppose the fallout of that begs the question to you guys, and we spoke about it last week as well. Man United now obviously searching for a manager. And the two names that obviously keep on coming up are Poch and Ten Hag. And there was serious talk there. I think they released there was information released today by journalists saying that Poch knows he's done, but also Leonardo is done, and also I think the chief executive officer. The three of them are going at the end of the season apparently. So begs the question. I mean, you don't want Poch, do you?
No, not a hope.
Darren?
I prefer the Andrex. You're all right. At least when I shit the bed, this is a bit of fucking help to me. Poch was fucking none.
So that answers that then. Let's see. Top 4 race. No, yeah.
What the fuck, like?
I'm cheering for him. I hope he gets the job.
I bet you fucking are.
So is Ian. I'd say Ian's time for Poch.
No, I played the fucking fifth at the moment on everything. I'm waiting until those trillionaires come into the bridge.
Ian's just crossing his fingers that Tuchel doesn't decide to pop up the bleeding M56 to Manchester.
Well, that's not going to happen. Don't listen to Jamie Carragher. That lad, he just spit on you if he gets it wrong. Go on.
What's he in from? 150 to 1 to 3 to 1?
It's not going to happen, as I said, just because Sky Sports say it happened. Listen, you already owe me £100 now at the end of this season, so I don't want to put another bet on with you.
Chicken fade, brother. Chicken fade.
Right, lads. Top 4 race. Although Darren is saying that United kind of aren't in the top 4 race, but they kind of are really, because I mean, if we
on
go,
Arsenal, doesn't it? Really?
Well, if we go out and we beat Arsenal on Wednesday, well then they're certainly in the top 4.
They have to come to the bridge as well.
Yeah.
And in fairness, like, I mean, you're taking, like, if that's 6 points off them, like, are you gonna do Chelsea? You know, beating Arsenal at the bridge? I'm not. So there's definitely games I think there that you could.
United have to play Chelsea as well, and we have to play Liverpool. And we've played Leicester and Arsenal. We'll batter Arsenal. They're shite though. They'll finish 4th, but they're shite. Like that's it. That says how bad we are. That's it.
Yeah. 100%.
But it was an interesting weekend in the top 4 race, because United won, Arsenal won, and West Ham won, and Spurs slipped up. So it was kind of like, I don't know whether Spurs are out of the top 4 race yet, but certainly their inconsistency would lead you to believe, like, if there's 10 games to go, what are they going to do? Are they going to win 5 and lose 5, kind of? That's what they've been kind of doing at the moment. So that certainly wouldn't get you over the line in the top 4 race. So really, for me, it comes down to Arsenal, Man United, and West Ham. And we have a feeling, Darren, with West Ham's endeavours in Europe, if it was happened to continue, even though they're 1-0 now against Sevilla in the first leg, if they were to continue in Europe, you would expect them to fall away.
Has to stretch that squad a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah. You know, it's a thin enough squad in areas. You know,
Bowen's going to be out for a few weeks as well now.
Bowen's out for a few weeks. That's right, and you know, like, he's been their best player this season by a country mile. Well, him and Declan Rice. In fairness, you know, but yeah, it's very tough. I'd like to see West Ham do Sevilla, if I'm honest with you. I really would, if for no other reason, just to see Anthony Martial knocked out of another fucking cup. You little swine. Hope the next time you make it at Old Trafford, you're in a fucking refugee clan fleeing your country or something, you little swine.
Jesus. Don't hold back whatever you do anyway. I don't know if you guys picked up yesterday, I'm sure you did, but if you watched the West Ham game, how emotional was that Yarmolenko goal? I mean, it was
well, I heard it good. Did you hear that guy? What's his name? Zuba, the Russian lad who's been getting shit from all the lads. And he goes, "Well, what are you doing? What are you doing celebrating on a football pitch when you should be over fighting for your country along with the Klitschko's?" I was like, "Oh shit!" Getting real.
Do you know what the best part of that story was? Not your story, Ian. The Yarmolenko goal. The Aston Villa fans clapped them.
Yeah, I'm saying that, yeah.
The Aston Villa fans clapped, you know, a goal against their team. Yeah. Like faith restored in humanity.
And I just want to say there that little story that I said, that wasn't me kind of condoning.
No. That's just, yeah.
I mean, I thought as well. Look, people with fucking,
that kid has a touch like Larry Murphy. He's only trying to make himself fucking relevant.
Of course he is.
Stick to playing football in France with the rest of the shite bags.
The motherfucker. He's on X videos and Pornhub bopping himself off there, like, so fuck off. That's a fact. No, I thought that was a fantastic moment. I have to say, I agree with Dazzler on that one. That was, you know, that was faith restored in humanity first and foremost.
Yeah.
Then football fans, you know, secondary. That was a beautiful moment. Beautiful moment.
Wanted to touch on Arsenal, lads. Mikel Arteta. I think he's doing a fabulous job at the moment. I think he's proved a lot of us wrong here on this.
Say it without grinning. Go on, say it without smiling. Look at him. Can't even say it. Look at him.
It's killing me to think about it, because we did a show on the Edu interview on Sky Sports and all that kind of thing. And, you know, when you think about where Arsenal have come from, that they're up in the dizzy heights of 4th now and the run they're on, I think that's 5 wins on a draw in the league or something like that. And the last time they were beaten was the City game, I think, in the league. He's doing an outstanding job, isn't he? He's proven a lot of people wrong, isn't he?
Bottling it at the end, though.
But don't forget, like, they've had the advantage of not having to play in Europe all season as well.
Yeah.
They've had less games.
Massive advantage. That's a huge advantage.
Yeah. But you also have to remember, lads, a month into the season, they were bottom of the league with 0 points after 3 games as well, you know? So It's
he's gotten to play much better. You seen the football they played yesterday, the one touch football. No, Partey could have had a goal after he scored. Remember, he hit the bar slash post that time. And by the way, the penalty should have been retaken. Saka was encroaching in the box, so I just had to get that out for all the Arsenal fans.
I was just going to say categorically, like I know the two Hogan familia here like to have a little bit of a love in with Arsenal from time to time. I could give a fuck, and I hope they fail, and I hope Man United get there. Fuck you, Arsenal fans. I'll remember, and now you're sweating that Saudi money is coming over to fucking SW6. So lick my ball sack, Twitter fans. Could give a fuck about Arsenal. Come on, United.
I'm shocked that you've been so forthcoming and welcoming Saudi money in with your comments over the last season or so.
Hey, listen, okay, I gotta.
What's this? Is this if you can't beat them, join them type of thing?
That's it. Because guess what? It works in our favor now. Because now it's going to come down to the government. That the government give the okay with it. Then okay.
It's so scary, isn't it? What are this crowd worth now? We thought the other crowd were pretty good. 1.3 trillion or something.
Yeah.
Oh no, good Lord! Here we go. Crazy.
Look. All joking aside, I'm going to say this on the record here. If it is a media company that isn't involved with the Saudi government, albeit if it is involved with the Saudi government, then I want nothing to do with it. And I'm going to be honest there. And I put me money where my mouth is there. I want nothing to do with that shit.
I don't know. And listen, now I'm going to take flack for this.
Darren's about to break out his Nikes and his Under Armour top again here.
Me and Darren are known to have had a conversation one time about those LeBrons. So
and don't forget, like at one stage I told you, like if the Saudis came and bought United and wanted to stone me kids, but it meant they could have a fucking title, I take it. So that's fine, right? But
clip that.
Like there was was it 81 killed on Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay, so
executed, not killed.
Executed, yeah.
Yeah, well, executed the same as being fucking killed. Like,
no, but I mean, it wasn't.
You're dead at the end of it either way, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Right. So here's my take on it. Again, it might be slightly warped. Anywho, right? They were in Saudi Arabia. They didn't go and invade anyone else's country, right? It was all done in Saudi Arabia, and the guys who were executed / killed, beheaded, turned inside out for Johnny Rappers. I don't know what happened to them, but they all had been convicted of various different offences, right? Some were being part of a terrorist group. Some were for this, that, and a brand new hat. I think we could do it over fucking here. Because then you wouldn't be going into the forecourts on a Wednesday to hear Johnny with 78 convictions, mugging a granny and taking our fucking pension. You know why? Because the cunt would have been dead at bleeding 21. So I'm A-okay with that. And if the boys want to come over and take on the bleeding Chelsea and pump money into them, fair play to them. Like, what's the problem?
It might be a slightly different court of arbitration, though, Darren. No, it might be a different court of arbitration. That's all.
I'm actually Darren. He's a very good salesman, and I have to say, I'm sold.
It didn't take much to talk, around to the Saudi money, did it?
But like, if you look at the list of offences that the boys,
t-shirts next now, lads. Don't worry, I'm good for it.
if you look at the list of offences that the boys got chopped up for, like they probably deserve to be chopped up. You know what I mean?
Nah, I'm not rounding behind that. It's a very different court of arbitration over there. In fairness, I'm not saying it was all wrong. I'm not saying it was all right. I don't know what it was about, so I can't comment on it.
Just to bring a lightheartedness to the show there on Dazzler's behalf. It kind of reminds me of that scene in Life of Brian when they're showing the Stones and the women are wearing the fucking fake beards. Yeah, kill him. No, kill him. Yeah.
Well, like, here's the thing, right? I've been on holiday a couple of times in Dubai. It's a beautiful place. When you go in there, there's certain laws, right? Now, whatever stupid things I might do over here, you can fucking bet your bottom dollar I'm not doing it when I go over there. You know why? Because they actually have punishments. And they're going to, if I go in and rob the gold souk and take all the gold out and stick it in my pocket and run down the road, they're going to chop me hand off.
Could you have a straightener over there, or would you get called out on that?
No, I'd say you get called out on it.
All right, fuck that.
But you know what? I won't fucking do it again. So, I honestly, and I know you think I'm winding up here and I'm stirring the pot. I'm genuinely not like if you steal something, just chop the cunt's hand off, and I haven't done it. All right, Grant. If he steals a second one, chop the other hand off.
But
If
you,
he steals that, else
but you
that,
just,
you know what I
but
mean?
you just said what you do over here, you wouldn't do over there because you know the consequences. But yet you want what's over there to be brought over here, so you would
That's what I'm
lose a
saying.
hand over here as well. Then
That's what I'm
Careful
saying.
what
So I
you wish
wouldn't.
for, because the hotels are full of that at the moment.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like if our laws were as stringent and as, you know, and protected the people as much as they do in countries like that, we'd have a far better society to live in.
I'm on the fence.
Yeah,
as long as the money
have
comes
you-
into Chelsea,
have
I'm
you-
all
have
right.
you-
Like,
Have you walked up Henry Street recently?
true.
I work in town.
Yeah.
Our
Or
Mark
Talbot
works in town.
Street? Jesus Christ, lads. Tell me fucking Putin doesn't need to drop a bomb on fucking on one of them. Fuck's sake.
It's all Sports Direct's fault.
Fucking hell, man.
I blame Haji.
Anyway,
You can see part 2 of this upper tier episode on Dynamo's Dozen where we talk politics.
yeah.
Next week, live on Claire Byrne.
Gonna take out the roll of tinfoil now and put it on Darren's head when we produce this.
Oh, this isn't tinfoil with Darren. This is he's full blown fucking ammunition.
Darren wants a cleansing brought to Ireland.
Absolutely.
Today's weapon of mass destruction is brought to you by Darren McComiskey.
Poor old Sports Direct to be gone on Talbot Street. Lads, want to finish out with
pal, if you got them 90s in a 7.5. Lads, any butts?
Right. Let's finish up. Mo Salah's contract came up this week. His agent playing all sorts of games with the media, especially.
Sorry, we're gonna call him No Salah for now.
Yeah, no Salah.
Don't worry, Niall. The Saudis have that sorted out. It'd be grand. They'd be back in blue in no time.
It's no problem. They want to give us 150 million. It's not a problem. But what was your thinking on this, Darren? I suppose go to you first. I mean, the timing of it is a little bit strange, isn't it? When Liverpool are chasing down, they have one trophy and they're chasing another 3, and this agent is coming out with this kind of shithousery. And I'm not sure whether he's been advised by the player. It doesn't seem like Mo Salah would be that.
I couldn't imagine a player in the position he's in advising, you know, his agent to speak at this time and to speak like that. I don't believe it. Like we've spoken before, agents are the absolute, you know, the devil's toenails. They really are. You know, football would be a better place without them, let's be honest. And you know, I understand they're there to do a job for the player and stuff like that, but you know, it's surely somebody. And I thought about this earlier on, you know, because I was thinking about a separate incident. And I was just thinking to myself, when do guys ever realize how good they have it? You know, like genuinely, because there's so many guys. I was looking at this is where this comes from. I was looking at the Swansea team at the weekend, yeah, and you had the boy Olivier Nicham, yeah, who used to play for Celtic. He's now at Swansea. He wouldn't sign a deal at Celtic,
yeah,
and he moved to Swansea. And I'm going, now where does this bloke not realise in Celtic? And I'm not a Celtic fan. Sorry, you know, I know you are. I'm not a Celtic fan. But where does he not realise you're at one of the biggest football clubs in the world with one of the greatest, you know, histories and traditions in world football? You are on the biggest stage, you're playing in Europe, you're playing in paradise every weekend with a packed crowd who fucking worship every fucking touch you take, and you decide you're all right, I'm going to the championship to play with Michael Obafemi at Swansea. Pal, go and get your fucking head checked. Are you all right?
And he got beaten by Blackpool the weekend, Asler.
And he got turned over and tickled by Josh Bowler and the boys, right? And I'm just going, what is going on here? Like, as difficult as it might have been to understand people in Blade in Scotland, how bad must it be in fucking Swansea, where most of them are brothers and sisters anyway? And then you throw in the accent. Like, give us a break, will you?
By the way, quick shout out on the championship there. Even though they gave us a good fucking hustle there the other week, Shout out to the Mad Hatters, Luton Town, playing fucking absolutely fantastic football at the
They're doing
moment.
very well.
Been following them like literally a couple of weeks before the Chelsea game, and then watched the game before yesterday as well.
Was that just in case Chelsea went shit up? You're like,
Yeah.
Days be number 2, like.
Yeah.
He's trying to circle around these clubs in London, so it's the same geographical position. You can fly straight into Luton. You see, it's all good.
Well, I already had me other team on speed dial. It was Plymouth Argyle. It was like they were the green and the white. So
Mark, what's your overall view on this? Is he going to re-sign? Is he going to try and hold out? I mean, the club is left with really 2 options. I mean, they're standing firm on what they've offered them, which I believe, I haven't got the detail of it, but I believe it's a hell of a contract they've offered them.
300. I heard today, Matt Law, actually, one of the guys as well, that was not Matt Law, sorry, someone else said that it was close to the 400k mark, which, I mean, that's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
there's no way Liverpool have offered him nearly 400k.
No, I think they're talking. I think overall with the bonuses and everything else, it runs out at about 400 a week or something like that. But Mark, what's your thinking on this? Is this the club going to stand firm? Is there going to be a standoff here and he's eventually just going to sign? Or is he going to try? Because, I mean, if he tries to force an issue where he leaves on a free, Liverpool are going to probably have to be in a position where they're going to have to try and unload him in the summer.
Yeah. No, I was slagging one of the lads in work. It was like he's going from FSG to PSG because there'll be a lot of different like there's talk of obviously Mbappe going to Madrid and stuff like that. So obviously PSG would be, you know, one of the guys that could take him on for his wages and stuff. But I think FSG have to stand, because like that, as I was saying, I was saying that. What did he put a tweet out? Remember, Klopp said something and he put a tweet out. Like, these agents are fucking ruining football, absolutely ruining it. Mini Raiola is one of the biggest fucking arseholes in the game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
He's the biggest arsehole. You see, anytime something's gone quiet, he just comes out and talks some shit about Pogba. He's doing this, that, and the other. And don't like the difference between Salah and Pogba. Salah probably deserves a good contract. You know what I mean? Where you look at Pogba, he's not doing it. I know Salah hasn't really done it since the African nations, but at least overall in the league season he does. Where Pogba fucking doesn't. You know what I mean?
Like if there's one player on God's green earth that deserves the contract that they want, it's Salah.
Absolutely.
You know, but with what you've said there, again, that brings me back. Like, that is the scariest thought ever, that Mohamed Salah would swap Anfield, 60,000 people who adore him. He can't get out of his car. He's the Egyptian king. He's, like the man he's only short of being a god in Liverpool. To go to PSG, to be dumped out on your laurels by Real Madrid and be billed and not be able to go to the bleeding supermarket at the weekend in case one of the boys decide to chop you up. Are you actually all right in the head, Mo?
And in a league where people really don't overly care about it.
Oh my God!
As a Chelsea fan, I'll say that as well. Listen, I think it would be a travesty for Liverpool Football Club and the Premier League, and for him himself, if he was to go anywhere other than signing a new contract with Liverpool. I mean, it's the club that really gave him the platform to really step it up, and he did it. Absolutely, he has the right to, to demand a certain amount of money if he feels he's valued at that. But look, there has to be a compromise in there. Do you know what I mean? There has to be a compromise.
Well, I suppose Liverpool as a club as well, the concern is not necessarily about the amount for Mo Salah. The problem is that then Virgil van Dijk knocks on the door. The fact is then Alisson knocks on the door, and all of a sudden you have a ripple effect of maybe an extra 100 million that you're having to find over the course of contracts because of this.
That's 100%. I was just going to say that quickly because I think that's something that in latter years you saw the likes of Chelsea and even the likes of Real Madrid and Juventus and all do. They kind of set a precedent and said, well, we can't offer you that because that is going to be the ripple effect.
Yeah.
So I think FSG are caught between a rock and a hard place. So it really boils down to Mo Salah's loyalty.
Well, I think FSG, they're not actually caught between a rock and a hard place now because the timing of what the agent brought out was interesting because it got the fans a little bit heated.
That's true.
What it did as well at the weekend as well is it got the fans to wake up to the fact that he's been offered an unbelievable contract here. And the fan base coming out at the weekend was basically saying, well, you've been offered a much improved, brilliant contract that represents what you've done for the club and what the club has done for you. So either sign it or fuck off. And that's the approach that they took. And it was interesting to see that the fan base had changed their minds as well himself from going, oh, you have to pay him whatever he wants. We have to keep him no matter what, to like, you've been offered a brilliant contract, sign it or else good luck in the summer. And that was an interesting dynamic. And that, like, whatever the agent was trying to create, it created the reverse. And it started getting the fan base pulling against and now going, if this is actually what you want, if this is actually not about us showing a desire and about your greed for money and wealth, well then, you know, we don't want any part of that. And that's the way it was. And I think it was interesting to see that the fan base reacted the right way to it this time when it comes to agents, which was brilliant, you know.
Victory for football. So
yeah,
you know
that's,
what I mean?
that's the way it should be. Yeah, absolutely. Well, lads, that's another show. Absolutely brilliant. If you want to contact the show, the upper tier podcast at gmail.com. We're also on Twitter at _upper_tier. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments on the results. And of course, head over and check out Ian's channels On the Slab, the horror one, and Dynamo's Dozen, where he's dropping great content and interviews every week. And we will be back again next week, also dropping previews and match reactions throughout the week. And also we'll be dropping a couple of Legend series this week as well. We'll have Darren on. We'll have Darren on in the morning, bright and early. I hope he's this sprightly in the morning. I doubt I will. And we'll also have an Arsenal preview with Morris from Cheap Heat Productions is coming at you tomorrow as well. Until next time, man, an absolute pleasure.
That's all he's got to say about that.
What?
What?